Welcome back, everyone. So today we're going to take a look at the timeline in and around the death of Tammy Daybell and what she may have known and what she should have known. So as we know, Tammy Daybell passed away and was pronounced dead on October 19th, 2019. According to the coroner's report for Tammy on that day, which you can request online, she was pronounced dead of natural causes. There was nothing noted on the actual examination of Tammy's body on that day that led them to suspect foul play in any manner at all. The family, according to the Fremont County Coroner's Office, had requested that no autopsy of Tammy be performed. Now, there has been speculation that someone, her daughter or someone, I can't remember exactly, it doesn't matter, said that they saw pink foam coming from Tammy's mouth. This is absolutely false. It is a rumor. It is not noted in the coroner's report. The police officers' report when they showed up at the scene, never was anything seen coming from the mouth of Tammy Daybell there when her body was discovered and she was deceased. The family, again, back to the Fremont County Coroner's Office notes, had asked that no autopsy be performed for religious reasons. The Fremont County Sheriff's Office and the Coroner's Department signed off on it and said we were not going to do an autopsy because there are no signs of foul play. There was no thought that there could possibly be foul play. This is unusual in most circumstances unless a physician is and the patient is under a physician's care at the time. And we haven't been able to actually get medical records from Tammy, but not even 6 months prior to her death, Tammy and Chad both had a complete physical done. Now, this physical was done for a new health insurance policy, and life insurance policy. They both had it done. Both of them had the same policy on each other. The same payout. If Tammy died, Chad would get so much. If Chad died, Tammy would get so much. There wasn't a dollar more insurance on either one of the two over the other. So going back to October 2019, we know that according to the arrest affidavit that was issued for Chad, that there is, I believe it's page 9 on that, and I will put a link to that in the description of this video, that Chad had sent a series of texts to Tammy, and she's still alive, obviously, where he had told her that he was going to be cleaning up some brush from around their property, which is basically how you take care of large amounts of brush, tree limbs, and such. And he mentioned actual limbs. That's how you take care of it in a rural area like this. Is you have a fire pit area and you burn them, because what would you do with it elsewise? Stack it up, let it sit there, unless you need it for another future reason. You just burn it as you gather it up. But he also said that he had shot a large raccoon and that he was going to be burying this raccoon in their pet cemetery. According to a family member, there are not one, but 2 dogs that they knew of that are buried in this pet cemetery, along with 2 cats. That is not confirmed. That is only what I've been able to somewhat confirm, I guess, from a family friend who spoke about the property and the length of time that they lived there. But this entire thing that Chad was texting Tammy was giving him a cover story for what he was about to do. The hole he dug to bury this raccoon turned out to be J.J. Vallow. The fire, burning of the limbs, turned out to be a cover story for burning and dismembering Tylee. Neighbors have commented that they did see not one, but 2 separate occasions prior to October, around the 1st, between somewhere in the 1st to the middle of October of 2019, that they can recall, of Chad burning brush in the backyard. And this wasn't uncommon. They had a concrete and cinder block area set up in the backyard with several lawn chairs. And it wasn't uncommon for Tammy, Chad, and his children to be in this area and burn brush, roast marshmallows, make s'mores, hang out as a family, sing, tell stories, and relax. This was very common in the area, and it was very common for the neighbors to do it as well. It's part of rural life. Little did we know that Chad would be burying 2 children out there. Did Chad have a hand in their murders? I would argue yes. Even if he physically didn't actually do it, he put the words, the thoughts into the minds of Alex, if he did it, Lori, if she did it. Both Chad and Lori, in my mind, and in the general public's mind, are just as guilty as the person who actually physically killed both of those children. But remember, before December came along and Alex would die and Tammy's body would be exhumed, both of the children were gone. So that means by the time they took off for Hawaii, the time that they were in Hawaii and Lori Vallow had both birth certificates of both children with her and Tylee's phone, both of them, both the children, were dead. But getting back to Tammy, what else did Tammy know, or should she have been made aware of at that time, and most likely was made aware of? Well, the countless trips to the local BYU, Brigham Young University campus that Chad had taken with Lori, they talked fondly to Melanie Gibb about taking walks around the track there at the university and going to the LDS temple there, which stands for Latter-day Saints. They had visited both places multiple times in complete disregard for the marriage that Chad had with Tammy. He was seen in both places multiple times. And according to Melanie Gibbs, they were often affectionate, holding hands as they walked around the track there at BYU, holding and embracing each other at the LDS temple. She's married to the man, and he's already stepping outside the marriage. It was more than just a friendship at this point. Because let us not forget, before Tammy was even dead, before her body was ever laid to rest, Chad was doing, doing these things outside the marriage with Lori. And Lori had gone on and had purchased her wedding dress and her wedding ring using Charles Vallow's Amazon account. She purchased the ring and the dress before Tammy was ever dead. But don't forget, Lori had her sights set on Chad for a long time. She had a goal, a mission. She was going to get her man. And her man was Turtle Boy, Chad Daybell. She had gone as far as setting up fake email accounts, trying to lure Chad to her home in Arizona so he could write his next book, giving him a place to go, a peaceful place to go and write his book so she could get her mitts on Chad. Is there any one of the two that is more guilty than the other? Chad with his extremist doomsday prophecies and telling everyone that everyone around him were zombies. And you can bet that he probably told Lori and Alex that Tammy was a zombie, just like he told Lori months before the children ever were harmed that they were zombies. And Lori knew, and Alex knew, the only way to get rid of a zombie was to take their physical life so they could ascend to the next level. They knew this. Lori didn't stop the events from happening. She knew what was going to happen to her children. Everyone who before then and around that time period that Chad had said was a zombie, Brandon Brudeau, shot at by Alex. Tammy, he most likely, again, said that was a zombie. Alex did a dry run on her to see how close he could get to her to actually kill her with a gun. But in that incident, he used a paintball gun. He shot at her multiple times. Instead of fleeing to the left or the right down the street in front of their home, he ran around the back of their home and through the back part of the property past the fire pit. We knew he had a gun at this point. Everybody knew he had a gun. Chad had several guns. Charles had guns, but not with him when he was killed. Back to Tammy. Her husband stepping out on her. Even by Melanie Gibbs' own account to police, she said she knew that this was wrong. So they've killed. They've committed adultery. How many more of the 10 commandments did they break? And these people say that they are messengers from God, that they are here to enlighten others. So many innocent people have lost their lives, and these are just the ones we know. According to the FBI, right now they are stepping it up in overtime. They have less than 30 days to find anybody else who was a member of this group, who may have been following Chad and Lori's teachings and may believe in the same things that Alex and Melanie and everybody else who was part of all this, because they believe the world ends in less than 30 days. And they all have a game plan. They have to follow the game plan that Chad has put down in front of them. That they must be released from their human bodies in order to ascend to the next level as part of the 144,000. They must die. How many more are out there? Will they be gathering in northern Utah? where Lori and Chad had gone so many times for spiritual guidance? Will we see another event like the Heaven's Gate cult where everyone takes a cyanide capsule and goes to bed and never wakes up again? This is what the FBI is trying to prevent now. And the only people who they have any bargaining with or direct contact with are Chad and Lori. And you can bet your last dollar. If they can't, their attorneys are going to ask that they use this as a bargaining chip. We'll tell you who else was involved to stop them from taking their lives if you drop the maximum charges against them. They're going to ask. They're going to put it forward. But will the FBI have to do that? Where do you balance the right and the wrong in the entire thing? You have to give them something so you can stop the tragic lives of others? Are there other people that are already dead? We don't know. Because the people who could talk are all gone. Except for Melanie Gibb, who you can bet has got to be scared, really scared right now. Now that she knows that the children are gone for good. She thought they were gone, but now she knows that they were killed. They were murdered. And Tylee was dismembered and burned before JJ. Thank you for joining me today. Stay safe out there. And remember, according to the FBI and the Department of Justice, this is not the only religious group out there like this. They know of a handful of others who are in and around the 5-state area where all this is taking place that are currently being watched because they are into and believe the same things as them.